rare for me to do something like this, and I know I definitely don't, but people are getting worse at the game, or I may be getting better, so what better to do than to talk about it now? Jurassic World the Game, one of three of the mobile games that sparked the current iPhone video game revolution thing, whatever, back in 2015, released alongside Dragon City and Pokemon Go, or they were all around the same time, I guess. Regardless, because it is one of the most popular franchises, millions of people around the globe have proceeded to download it. But can I say everyone is good? That's a bit of a far stretch.
Well, Guinea, haven't you lost your fair share of games too?
Well, of course I have, but my win to loss ratio isn't 3 to 7 like everyone else's gets. I started my game 3 times because of complications I will explain later. But first, let's start with the fundamentals. Hatching. What you will do first, you will click on the market, which is at the bottom right corner, and as you can see, there are different dinosaurs of different DNA costs. The more expensive the dinosaur, the rarer it is. The common ones are extremely cheap. The rarer the dinosaur, the DNA starts to go up. Super rare fighters go for quite a bit, and the most legendary of dinosaurs are by far the most expensive, with your occasional super rare. What you will do, buy the dinosaur, place it in the hatchery. Some you will be able to speed up. Well, the first hatchery itself is free. What you will do, you will place the dinosaur into its enclosure and level it up to the nearest 10. I do not want to see 4s, 5s, 7s, 9s, only 10s. Occasionally your dinosaur will decide it's time to go explore and go off on a rampage called Code 19. It lasts for around 5 minutes before they just chill off again. Just casually just send Owen to do the work, but if you really want the glorious reward, being SDNA, then you can play it. But only do it if you know it will work. The stronger creature, the harder. If you fail, it will release itself for about a day or something before you recapture it, with rewards or not. The more obedient dinosaurs, however, will stay in your enclosures and produce coins for you, such as Happy Jar here, who has just produced me 372 coins. You can also place buildings around your park and add decorations next to them to give them a bonus. Cryolophosaurus here, for example, is making 23,501 coins, regular for an animal of the level. However, Werahosaurus is giving me more than it is supposed to. Granted, it is less than Cryolophosaurus, but that is because it is a lower level. The stronger the dinosaur does not mean more coins. This can be a bit tedious, so you have revenue towers that will collect the coins for you just by simply clicking on them. Or you can use the hologram, which will just reduce the tediousness of just trying to get rich. Ferocity, next. You find this in battles. It is not ordered by HP or health. Well, that's the same thing, or attack, whatever. It is ordered by an average of between the two. Once you get your dinosaur to the next level, you will proceed to fuse it. If you don't, you can sell it at any time you want for half the DNA cost. Same thing with hybrids. You will need 8 of each dinosaur to get to a 40. But I would not start fusing unless you have 2 of every creature. You see, I only have 2 Triceratopses, but I only have 1 Stegosaurus. So what I will do, I will wait till I can get another Stegosaurus before I will proceed to make Stegoceratops. And you can fuse hybrids into super hybrids. Super hybrids aren't bad like people say they are, although they are quite a bit overrated, such as the Indoraptors. Like, why do you need that when you have something like Scorpius Rex or Pachygallosaurus? You don't. And the obvious one, the Trading Harbor and the Collector's Exchange, which everyone seems to use. I would avoid doing these most of the time, unless there is a good trade. Sometimes we will offer either or choices for something that you have. Is there anything else here? Let me check. This is a good deal. You would want to trade decorations as well as buildings, because when you do, You can avoid going bankrupt. I did this to my island, yes. Now I can collect coins from any of these buildings anytime I want and sell them at any time I want in case I ever go broke. So now, let's start talking about the resources of this game. Those being food, coins, DNA, and the obvious one. But first, let's start with food. Food, as you saw me do before, you can get it from the food production or from events. I would recommend getting it from the food production, and you activate it using coins for a certain amount. It will take almost a day to complete producing its food. Coins. Never trade coins at all. You usually get them from dinosaurs the majority of the time. You can get them very frequently from rewards and stuff, or the revenue towers, which collect the coins from the dinosaurs in the area. Use coins for battling, maybe trading if you really have to. DNA. People don't tend to waste this, but for us good players, we encounter this shortage all the time. That's because we are prolific in leveling up our dinosaurs, so we waste a lot. I don't have a good solution to it, so I just try to cope or get used to having so little since you have to use it so often. If you really have to, however, you can sell it for a certain amount of DNA. Now keep in mind that that's only half of the dinosaur's actual cost. For example, oops, that's the raffle ticket, don't attend it. Decoderma, I could sell it for 4,000 DNA. 14,000. The actual cost of the dinosaur is 28,000. Not worth it, although I must say 14,000 is actually quite a bit of DNA. Loyalty points. Every single time, get to 10,000, so you can get one of these bad boys. Don't get trash packs like the Natural Science Center or Earth Park, like who needs that, seriously. The other newer currency within the loyalty point denomination is Amber. You can use them to get certain dinosaurs, the more common dinosaurs, but for this, you should use it slowly. Don't try to squander it all at once. And get rare 30s, as you are getting legendary 30s. I got my T-Rex even before I got Tyranno Titan to this much. Granted, my Tyranno Titan is almost a 40, but still. And the obvious elephant in the room, money. Don't squander it. Save up to 1,000 and treat it like it doesn't exist, i.e., I have $1,039 right now. Let's just pretend I only have $39. Actually, that seems kind of like a little bit. I have $1,089. Pretend I just have $89 and treat it as if I only had $89 instead of just wasting it all on hatcheries, speed ups, winning battles, because you only got one day or so long to use that money. Now for special DNA, there's super DNA as well as boss DNA. Boss DNA, I'm going to talk about first because it's just more blatant. What you would do, I am not usually the type of guy to do this, but squander it as soon as possible to get your dinosaur to level 31, to get all these rewards. It will boost your resource stat by an extreme amount. Once you get Omega to level 35, which is what I did, then try to get Juggernaut 32, and then save enough for Valkyrie and Salamander 16, which are the next bosses you get. SDNA, on the other hand, is extremely hard to acquire. You can change SDNA in the SDNA missions, but right now I'm working on Circus and Tubendactylus. Same thing in Code 19. If you beat the Code 19, you can change your SDNA. Velociraptor, Tubendactylus, whatever. Tubendactylus is super hybrid, is Pelicatulus. You fuse it with Pelicanipteryx. Now you do not need Pelicanipteryx and Tubendactylus, you just need Tubendactylus' DNA. As you can see here, you do not need a Tubendactylus. Can you guys stop rebelling? I am recording right now. So now I was kind of leaving this out for later, but fighting. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about here. The 2x2 move is what I'm going to start with first. In battles, you get 3 different kinds of turns. You can use attacks, blocks, or reserves. Attacks, attack, blocks, block attacks, and reserve save you next turns. People tend to do 2 reserves and 2 blocks, which is the worst move because, first of all, it only gets you extra 2 points, and second, your opponent will just do it back. If you are unsure what your opponent does, just reserve, only if you have backup. If you don't, it would be very circumstantial, so I can't help you for that. I recommend that if they had 6 turns or less, block. Don't take a long time. It gives your opponent time to think. You only have 20 seconds to take your turns, 30 in a modded battle. I'll show you what happens when you lose a turn in an actual fight. But when it is your opponent's turn, think how they would, assuming they are an average player. Don't switch to the advantage or the stronger creature. As you can see here, there are different class types. Carnivores get herbivores, herbivores get pterosaurs, pterosaurs get amphibians, and amphibians once again get carnivores. A lot of people, they would try to do something as stupid as this. I need, there, let's see this. Bring 3 pterosaurs, they would bring 3 herbivores, but as you can see here, I cannot do that. Don't do that, because what's going to happen, your opponent will just switch to an amphibian, then you'll just switch to pterosaur, then you'll switch to herbivore, then you'll switch to the carnivore, and it will not get you anywhere. Also, don't take overpowered creatures for stomp matches. Take creatures that are about 2/3 the strength. So as you can see here, we have Synthetosaurus, Megistotherium, and Dinotherium, all being super rare Cenozoic creatures. You can take 20 legendaries or 30 super rares. Maybe even 10s if you want, or 20s. It works for me, so I'm assuming it will work for you. Unless you're not following these rules, of course. Don't take the same creatures on the same team unless you know you will win. Your opponent can make rough guesses as to their strength and utilize their knowledge. And don't take advantage to disadvantaged creatures, I was like saying, especially in aquatic or Cenozoic battles, because there's always going to be some sort of advantage or disadvantage in that regard. And finally, the obvious, don't be stupid, i.e. take 2 bad creatures and 1 good. Put your worst first, your best second, and your second best third. Your worst creature will rally up reserves, your second best creature will kill, and your third best creature will back up. Like, if I were to do something like this, what happens when my Microposaurus dies? What would I do then? You know what I would do. I'm also going to explain flock creatures really quickly. These guys. When in battle, each creature will have its own health bar section. Once this selection of the health is completely empty, that creature is lost. When hit by a 7 or 8 action point attack, the opponent can damage all 3 creatures at once. Swap out a flock, and then back in again to have a chance at reviving a creature. So am I saying these little dodo birds can beat a T-Rex? Yes, I quite have. They've beaten, I think, more than 10. But let's try that out. But before I do that, I want to play against an AI so that you guys know how to deal with this. So here, I'm just going to bring 2 herbivores because I don't want to die. Remember, I'm recording right now. Oh, I think this would probably fit a little better. Reserve. Your opponents will always be faster than you in event matches because they are AIs. Unless you're me, of course. I forgot to mention the attack multipliers. As you can see on the bottom, next to the attack, it shows how much damage it's going to do. This will do 252 damage, not enough. Since I know I cannot kill him, I will reserve. He's a herbivore, he cannot hurt me. Now that he has only 1 health, he will switch, as most people would do. The attack multipliers are times 1, times 2.4, times 4.2, or whatever. I'm going to put it in the description, so you can go check out that link when you're done watching the video. I know I must 3-shot him. 105 times 4.2 equals 441. Now you see how it works. Don't waste your turns trying to kill your opponents. Oh, but you go, oh, but Triceratops just died now. Well, what about this guy? I remember my older games, I had 3 of them. Brings back good memories. And, of course, you don't have to watch the giant wreckage. You can just simply skip the battle by clicking the screen hard enough and long enough that you will immediately leave. Well, what about against a real person? That's a very different story. I will show you how flawed creatures move, but because I'm just gonna feel like that guy today, I'm gonna bring a good creature. What I like to do, I like to play around with the opponent if I beat them so hard enough. In fact, this team is my best team, but they almost lost to someone. Oh, see that? See what that guy did there? He brought his best creature first, and his two bad creatures last. Don't worry, I'm gonna win this fight. Trust me. He gets the turn because his creatures are a lower rarity than mine. That's what he thinks he's gonna do. Bad idea. Now, using simple math, I will have to kill him using a 5. Which I will get to in no time, don't worry. Now he's thinking a little more, he's taking a long time, and I know he's going to do either an attack, blockers, or what else could he do? Now, as soon as possible, we're going to try to get to 8 turns, because I know that my creatures are weaker, but this is really a 7-on-3 match. Not fair anymore, is it? Okay, 3. Alright, doesn't look like it killed him, but it'll force him to switch. Now that his first creature is extremely weakened, we have a good shot at this. Well, from what I can tell at this point, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to toy around with him like I usually do, but I will win. He assumed that I block. So now, I don't get it. I really don't. Like, what happens when your best creature dies? Like, I can't understand that some people don't grasp onto that. It blows my mind, honestly. It's just, it's shameful. And what is that thumbnail? Can't you just have a JW like all the, I guess, either very good or very bad people would? Like, you don't need to flaunt off a strawberry shortcake. Like, why? Why? Why do you die, my friend? Why do you die? Because you suck. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna play around with them at this point. So, as I mentioned earlier, you're probably wondering what happens when I drain out the timer. Once you click a button, it is final. There. You'll see what happens to that one turn. If I were to do this with just one button, and then the other 6 would get wasted, or so it seems. Watch what happens. Oh, that's what happened. Man, this guy back on the other side of the screen, you must be wondering, what is this guy doing? I'm making content, that's what. Hey, but if you are this player, I don't know what to say. Bet you're learning as you are. And believe you me, I love Kaprasuchus, but what I like more is the winning and the rewards that it yields. Is that to turn off? Ooh. Owie. Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna kind of play at this point. Well, once my Thylaco kitty gets in, then it'll be all over. He did the 2 saves, 2 blocks move. So I'm gonna just attack with the 1 because I know if I go too far, I will kill him. Which is not what you guys want to see. You guys don't want to see a huge, bloody mess. You want to see people exploiting their superiority to the fullest. Being the best. Not being themselves. That's totally different. Oh, but I noticed you guys do like to see gore every now and then. Which, granted. So as I say, do not do that. Be smart when you play. While my Thylaco-Smilus is gloating and flaunting off his 100th victory, let's go get a reward. Only winners will get this. This is an expert prize. It is based on how good the creatures were and stuff like that. So what's the odds? The odds are gonna I'm either gonna get coins or food. Usually if you watch an ad, you can get something even better. Oh, I got loyalty points. Perfect. I'm not going to watch an ad because I do not want to break copyright. So now, let me scroll through my launch real quick. Hacks. Be patient with the big missions. First, I want to mention that. Like, I don't have all the resources to get Diplotator to 40, and I don't plan to anytime soon. Because I just got my crop source. Big pain in the rear in that regard. You can still level up by getting XP from placing dinosaurs, buildings, or completing missions. The higher the level, the more XP you must collect. So first, let's start with our first hack. The 3 different classes of Cenozoic creatures in a fight 1 times. That's wrong, but this may appear, depending on your level, as land or aquatic. But for me, it's Cenozoic. I will earn $50. Yes, this is a hack. Forstricus is Savannah, Marsupialion, or Thylacoleo is a snow, and Ramethrium is a cave. Let's start the battle. Trading $5 for $50 honestly is pretty worth it, but for me who has so much money, it barely means anything. But free money is free money. Everyone wants free money, right? Here's what you do. Yeah, you saw that right. This is why my loss ratio honestly is pretty high. I'm not keeping track because... But voila, I've completed the mission. Well, what do you know? Next one, they use 3 speed ups hack. A lot of people, they like to use hatchery things or evolution, wasting their resources. Oops, my camera. Well, you don't have to do that. Just place 3 ACU security officers and speed both of them up. Ooh, I completed another mission. And for us good players that don't leave our dinosaurs hungry, we have a lot of time completing this one. Spend 250,000 food. There's a good way to do this, actually. Just go to the raptor paddock. There. And buy a mod. You can do it all at once for 1 rare mod. You can do 2 common mods. I would do 1 rare mod because I don't tend to use modded battles anyway. I have this really bad habit of trading mods, as a matter of fact. But now, time to explain why I had to quit my game and restart it 3 times now. This is my 3rd game and the furthest I've ever gone. A lot of people complained back in late 2021 because the game quote-unquote shut down. But that's because people on Fire tablets probably didn't have enough storage to cope with all the data. I mean, literally, look at all this. Where'd it go? Gameplay. Help and legal. Credits. Like, you think an iPad is going to hold all of this? And with all these dinosaurs, with insane resolution, beautiful different colors, absolutely perfect texturing and shadows. I mean, it's pretty cartoony if you ask me, but still. People, if you just download all those kiddie games like Candy Crush or Roblox. Now, I'm not saying those are bad games. Those are actually pretty good games, in my opinion. But they are good for a different electronic. Jurassic World the Game is very time-eating if you are a gamer. I'm not a big gamer. It's more of a hobby, honestly. I just want to collect every single dinosaur. Another way to, get by this is don't read the reviews. They all talk about that same old update problem. They just drifted off into egotism.
Oh, I got Pastasuchus to level 40. I have a T-Rex. I got both Brachiosaurus and Sonorosaurus.
Well, anyone can do that. I've done that. Egotistic players tend to be pretty bad. I was once like that too. I thought I was the best player in the world, would always win, and my loss ratio was like 3 times higher, like most of you probably. But for those good players, stay how you are. Don't listen to all those bad people. And don't go, oh, I can be me. If I click the right buttons, then I'll win. It doesn't work that way. Remember, they're people you're playing against, not AIs. AIs are dumb. The people you play against, they may be slower, but they are smarter. They will figure out what you are doing. But speaking of that, go check out HT Game and Rex Gaming, the 2 best Jurassic World the Game players on the planet. Also, the JWT Toolbox in the description as well. All the links are down there, as you know. JWTG Toolbox is a comprehensive guide that is fan-made. It provides you with every single stat on the dinosaur, as well as future dinosaurs coming up. I'm going to do another battle for you guys. Let's do... Let's just do this. You guys all like to see a good squash match, don't you? I don't know, if you're a lazy player just trying to get by like me, more of a hobbyist, not really a very hardcore Jurassic gamer, and you know how to play right, that's good for you. I'm telling you, not even I'm like that. Jurassic World the Game is not a matter of expertise and skill. It's a matter of luck. Because more times than not, for someone like us, we're going to be better than our opponent. It's up to what they do, how long they block for, how much they do, how much damage, how many blocks, how many reserves. Not really dependent on you. It is dependent on the other person and their moves. Likewise, the same thing with them. You don't win because you win. You win because they lose. A person can lose and not win, obviously. But a person can win, lose and not win. Well, whatever. Like, you can get second place, you can get third place, as you know. But before I leave, I'm going to talk about VIP description. And obviously, I'm not going to disrespect the game, so this video doesn't get deleted. But I will share my brutally honest opinion on it. The VIP subscription gets you with all these random rewards that you don't really need. This is more than what my wallet can handle. You only get 4 raptors and a Rex. Like, I already have a Velociraptor level 40, and I plan to get the Indominus Rex sometime. I kind of have to, honestly. A lot of reviews complain on how buying things with real money, like actual money, game money, is not worth it, because that's because they suck. You need to listen to a professional. Rex Gaming and HG Game are clearly not posting things on that, so I'm going to have to say it myself. VIP creatures are extremely powerful, don't get me wrong. They are almost as strong as some hybrids. And there's quite a bit of them, too, that you can get without the VIPs just loading on everything. You can unlock some by opening your packs, saving 20,000, like Orthocanthus here. But I don't see a very acute reason to get every single VIP creature. Like, you don't need it. You have everything. You have a reef creature, Romaleosaurus, you got Hanosaurus, you got Orthocones, you got Hyaenodon, Brontotherium, Thylacosmilus, you got Baryonyx, Pterodactylus, Prestasuchus, Werosaurus. You got one of each. That's all what you really need. And if you can conserve, that's good. But such as I say, that if you aim to get every single creature, I see no better option than to get it.